What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Hashes, RPO podcast. This is Jerome Jones, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is, Mister Ray Roberts. How you doing, Ray?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
Good, man. Good, man. Good to be back. We got 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? This many?
Yeah. For the draft? 3 weeks.
2, 3?
Well,
No, it's the 12.
well,
Yeah.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks, yeah.
Hey, what happened to last week? What happened? Wait, how we missed on a week or something? I don't know what happened. We miscalculated or something. But I'm happy to be here, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good.
That's good, man. Obviously, we talking draft on the off season right now. We just had our mock draft last week, so if you didn't watch that last week, you gotta go back and watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. So if you hear, and I see some guys in here right now already watching, so appreciate each and everybody watching. But make sure you go on our YouTube channel. If you not on our YouTube channel, because we are on live on Facebook and on Twitter. But if you are on YouTube, go on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe. It supports, and we do appreciate y'all. But mock draft last week, man, it was really fun. I think it was a real success. I will say that looking at my draft, it was like I feel like people watching this, right? Because I put my draft out there and I see like 4 or 5 drafts with the same exact picks. I'm like, I thought my draft was pretty unique, like especially after a couple of picks, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing, oh, this person have the Seahawks getting Jalen Carter, and this person had that person, and this. Y'all copycats, come on, man. I was trying to be unique and do my own thing, and y'all had to copy off of me, right? But all in all, it's all fun, man. I wouldn't care anyway. It's just, hey, man, that means great minds think alike. So I appreciate that, and I think it's cool. But today we're gonna be talking defensive line. We own a defense finally. If you a defensive guy, sorry for the wait, but we here, man. Defensive line, we got the interior defensive linemen and edge rushers. First and foremost, Ray, let's talk about the class. How you feel about the interior and edge rushers as a
I
whole?
think it's a solid class. I think the edge guys are a little top heavy, but after that, it's not too bad. I mean, it's okay. Scheme dependent, type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the tackles. I think there's some nice talent in the top 4 or 5, and after that, it's a little scheme dependent. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I feel the same, and I wouldn't be surprised if our number 5 and maybe even number 4s are completely different today, because like you say, it's very top heavy with both of these positions. I think edge rushers are better. And I think edge rushers, you can find like 5 or 6 that are really good, maybe first round, maybe more than that. And then you got a group that's in the middle, but I feel like you got a lot that's in the middle in that one. As far as the interior, I think that there's maybe 3 top guys, and then after that is a big fall off to the next person, and I kind of talk about that in a second. But that's how I kind of feel about the draft. These positions. It's not as deep as normal, but you're gonna always find some quality guys in each level of this as well. So, with that being said, let's get right into it, Ray. We're gonna get into our top 5 interior defensive line. So we're gonna, as always, we're gonna go from 5 to 1. We're gonna go back and forth. So we're gonna tell our 5 and then go up from there. So Ray, number 5. Let's start off with there. Who you got?
okay, I have 2, 5A and 5B, so I'll go over them quickly because I know we have a lot to do tonight. So I got Siaka Ika from Baylor, who's going to be a true two-gap nose tackle type of a guy. One, 0 tech, 1 tech type of a kid. And I have Kalijah Cansey from Pittsburgh, who's an impressive athlete who's going to be more of an interior, like beat the guy off the snap type of a 1 gap type of a guy. So
Yeah, you're a little bit lower than Canty than I am, or I think a lot of people are starting to like key up on him a little bit more. But
I can't
yeah,
get away from 6 foot, 200 pounds, 280 pounds, dude.
I
I'm
know
not
Ray. Ray's definitely
290.
Ray's definitely a size guy. He's definitely a size guy, and I understand it. You know, I get it. I get
I
it. It's
mean,
not a lot.
he's
It's
an
not a big
avatar.
case for
Besides
smaller
for,
guys.
besides for Aaron Donald, name somebody else who fits under that criteria. There used to be a guy that played for Minnesota. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Who was a little bit like that. He was a
Oh,
high energy guy, a little light guy who was really, really good. But again, usually these guys don't succeed.
oh, John. What's his name? I know you're
That's
talking about.
that's the guy though. I can't remember the
I know
rest.
you're talking about. I know you're talking about. I can't.
Yeah,
John Randall. There you go.
John Randall. That's who it is.
There
Yep.
you go. There you
Yep.
go. I know it's John something. Yeah.
Again, he's one of them guys that was really, really good, high energy guy
Mhm.
who could do, again, what was really more of a pass rusher than a run stopper, but he was really productive. So
No, I agree. I agree. All right. My number 5 guy is gonna be Gavin Dexter, Jr. Um, I'm sorry, senior. I don't know why I say junior. He's senior. Um, 6'6", 310 pounds, big guy. Ran a 4.88, pretty good for a big guy like that. I think he's gonna be a 3 tech kind of defensive tackle in the league. I like him a lot. I think he's gonna be really good in the run game. He shows some flashes here and there. Again, he's not gonna be one of the high end guys that gonna be drafted high. And again, this position is kind of like I said, very it's three. I think it's 3 guys, and then it's a big drop off. So I kind of had to get somebody in there. I'm gonna get Dexter uh, Junior, and I don't have a 5B or A, simply because I feel like it gets watered down very quickly right after 3. So, Ray, what do you think about Gavin?
no, I have him in my top 5, so I'm a fan, and I do like his size and his length,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a good athlete. I just like the size and the length.
Yeah,
And again, the reason why I gave you the 2 guys at 5 because I think they'll be drafted around the same spot. I just think it depends.
yeah.
Again, do you want an interior pass rush from that spot, or do you want a run player? That's all.
No, I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, who you got, Ray?
Mozzie Smith from Michigan. 6'3", again, another 2 gap, 3 tech, maybe 0 tech type of a kid. 6'3", 340 pounds. Very good athlete. He'll demand double teams. And if you have another guy who's a pass rusher next to him, I think that it will help the guy next to him also. But I have him at number 4. So
Definitely. Number 4, I got a guy that I like a lot. I like the team that he plays on. Jalen Carter. No, I'm joking. Mozzie Smith. It's about Mozzie Smith. I like Mozzie Smith a lot. I keep seeing him getting mocked to the Eagles at 30. I wouldn't hate it depending on what's there. But I really do feel like he's a second round guy. A guy. This is me talking as a Michigan fan. I'm not. I like him. I'm not like over the moon about him as a player. I feel like he needs to still learn some defensive counter moves and things like that. You do got some rush upside to him, but you need to get a little bit better. He got shorter arms too, which is always a problem. He might be a 3-4 guy, just based on his size, but he's a guy that again, I'm not like over the moon about him, but at the same time, I think that he can play very he can get better as he goes, and I see him getting better as he was with Michigan. So I would love him to get a really good coach to kind of keep that going for him and allow him to continue that. Chris says Eagles bought Mozzie in for interview. Man, everybody's interviewing everybody. I hate to be that guy, but like everybody's interviewing everybody. I can't keep up. I don't think it's like a huge deal that teams are interviewing these guys. They get 30 guys. So and then a lot of them already talked to some of them at the combine or the Senior Bowl or stuff like that. So when they say a team interview somebody, I don't get too worked up about it because that's just the one interview that they're announcing. There's plenty of other opportunities teams have to be interviewing or talking to some of these players. Maybe not in the same extent as a 30 the top 30 whatever top 30 interview, but I take it with a grain of salt. I take it with a grain of salt. So not saying that it's not important or it's not cool to kind of hear the news, but at the same time, take it with a grain of salt. Man, what do you think about that?
I think that if your team, you should interview as many players as you can.
Exactly.
I do. I think Mozzie Smith is a second round pick. The Eagles, if he's there at the end of the second round where they pick at, I can see them getting on him. They like defensive linemen.
Yeah, like I say,
It's a little similar to what defensive tackles they have right now.
yeah.
So I would lean to think that they would rather take a guy who's even though they do like linemen to draw double teams. So I can see him playing some 3-tech for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think, again, you need to interview as many guys as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not downplaying or hating or whatever. I do think it would be a cool pick to get at 30. I just think it depends. It really depends who's still on the board at that point.
I mean, anybody who's not a top 10 or top 15 pick, you should interview all them guys if you're Eagles.
Yeah. No,
that's every team. If you don't, that's the only time I pay attention to interviews. If it's like a top 5 selection, on most people's draft boards, then I want to know who's talking to them. You know what I mean?
Definitely. All right, Ray, who you got at number 3?
Gervin Dexter from Florida. I'm a fan. Tall elite athlete with good frame, good length. Again, I think that he's a little scheme specific in that you want him to play, the second fiddle on the defensive tackle. But I think he can play. He'll be a good player against the run. I think he won't give you great upsides as a pass rusher, but I think he'll do a solid job for you. So,
correct. No, I agree with that. That's why I have him on here. Ray, we actually so far our list is actually very similar because we got same guys, but they kind of flip them. Because right now I got Canty at number 3. So Kalijah Canty, again, and I hate when people kind of make that comparison to the guy that he used to play on the same team as college. So I'm not gonna do the Aaron Donald thing, not even close to that. But I do like his upside. I do think he's a pass rushing specialist, kind of D tackle. Sometimes you can pin him on the outside if you want to. Again, smaller guy, but he's attacking. He's attacking kind of defensive tackle. I really do like him. 6'1", 281 pounds. Like I say, smaller, a little light. 30 inch 5/8 of arm length. So take what you want with that. I think he is very explosive. But if this was a better class, he'd probably be a little bit lower than this, honestly. So let's get to our number 2, Ray. I think the rest of our board is going to be the same, but go ahead, number 2.
Brian Brzee from Clemson. Again, I think Brzee and my other guy are going to be first-round talents. Probably will be taken in the first round. I can see Brzee maybe falling too early in the second round, only because, again, he's a 6'5", 300-pound, great burst, great power. I think he's going to be a really good player no matter who gets him.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a team that you really need that defensive tackle, you'll jump on him in the first round, latter part of the first round. But I could see where a team may just wait and see if he's there early second round.
Correct. Yeah. Brian Brzee is one of those guys that I've been kind of keeping my eye on since we started Inside the Hatches. I think he actually he was about to come out of high school the same year we started Inside the Hatches. So, that he's kind of that first wave of kids that we was looking at when he was coming out of high school, and kind of kept an eye on him because, I thought he was a really dynamic player. He's one of the top D tackles in the country. Went to Clemson, started off kind of pretty good, tailed off a little bit this last year. I know there was a definite and a family. His sister passed away, so I know that kind of affects people. So I don't want to knock that against him, but he had a kind of a rough year. I think Clemson's defense in general had kind of an up and down kind of year. They wasn't consistent, but kids show a lot of upside. I think he's really good. He's one of the I will put a lot of stock into having Breesy on my team, But like you said, Ray could go to the second round, depending on what's going on in the first round, or a mid to late first round team, maybe looking for a guy like that shows a lot of upside and things like that. A big, huge bursts, things like that. So I agree. All right, Ray, announcer number one.
Jalen Carter from Georgia. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Really not much of a debate on that one, is there?
No, there's no debate on that. It is a debate on where he's gonna go though. I know a lot of people are. It's because when a situation happened situation got announced and everybody heard, everybody was like he's off everybody's board. And I personally thought it was early enough in the process, and depending on how everything went legally, like if he was going to get arrested or whatever, they gave him, what you call that, community service and stuff like that. So he's still, he's still eligible. And I know that he didn't have the best pro day, but hey, man, he's going through a lot. And I'm pretty sure the young man that passed away, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. The young man that passed away, they was friends. I know they was friends. So, when you're in a situation like that, and not only that, you have to consistently get reminded when your friend passed away, and it wasn't that long ago. And then you feel like people are kind of blaming you, and then it's in the middle of a situation like this that's life changing. I don't want to put too much stock into how his pro day was, because it was literally like when he just got released or something like that. I mean, that from the combine to the pro day, that had to be the roughest, 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. It wasn't a long time after the combine. So I gotta look in that aspect of it, and I don't mean to get into too much into the personal issues with him and everything like that, but I think teams are gonna look at that and still consider him high as a high draft pick. It won't be as high, a lot of people saying before, maybe first overall pick. But I still think there's teams that will give him a chance, like a Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll will do something like that. And in our mock draft last week, you haven't seen it, go watch it. Got that plug in there. But yeah, I think that it really depends on the team, the culture, the coach who wants to bring him in and wrap their arms around the guy. So I think Pete Carroll's the guy for him.
I think that Jalen Carter is a top 5 or 10 talent, no matter how you shape it out. His legal issues are his legal issues. I don't know enough about them to really remark on him too much. All I know is right now I'm evaluating a college football player. He's a top 10 talent with no question. So that's really all I'm going to say about it. Again, I hope the best for him. I don't know exactly the situation. Hopefully everyone's okay. Mm-hmm. If there was fatalities, I'm not sure. Was there?
Yeah, it was a fatality. His teammate died in a car crash, and they said they was racing. So
okay, well, again, that may hurt where he was drafted, but doesn't change how good of a player he is. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and we've seen cases like that. We've seen worse cases like this right before the draft happened. So
of course,
I don't want to keep speculating on it. I wish the kid best of luck, and I hope he gets drafted as high as he can.
Yep.
All right, let's get to our next subject. Was gonna be sleepers. Now, again, this probably it took. I'm not gonna lie. This took me a little bit to kind of think about because, like we said, this pool is not the pool, and a lot of guys are kind of the same at this point. So it's kind of hard for me to find sleepers. But Ray, I'm gonna let you start.
I have two guys. I have Colby Wooden from Auburn, 6'5", 285. Another penetrating one gap type of player. And
Mm-hmm.
Corey Durden from North Carolina State, 6'4", 305. Both of these guys will take a late day three, anywhere from round 5 to round 7, depending on what you want your interior defensive lineman to do. But I
Mm-hmm.
like both of them kids. I think they'll get drafted at least. So
I like it. I like it. My guy is gonna be Zach Pickens. Got to interview him at the Senior Bowl. Big guy. He showed a lot of promise when he was down there. Very physical. Get off the blocks pretty well. He does have some pass rush ability. Excuse me. 6'4", 291 pounds. I like his size. I think like with some with some good coaching, I think he could be a solid starter for you. I don't know if he's a Pro Bowler. I'm not gonna say that, or he is, all right. No, it all depends what team you go to too. So like a lot of that is kind of hard to go through. Look, you about to say something, right?
no, I like Zach. He's a South Carolina defender, which I like. Them kids are usually coached pretty well.
Yeah,
I'm a fan. I could have already. There's a few guys I could have put in here as my sleeper.
that's what I'm saying.
There are because again, once it's kind of top heavy, the first 3 to 5 players, and after that, it's all scheme specific.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, you're going to coach them up, but I think there's enough depth there to give value depending on what kind of defense you play. So,
Definitely. All right, let's get to our small school guys. So these are guys that are going to small schools that maybe nobody really know about them because they are small school. But me and Ray think they got some good potential. So Ray, who you got?
Carl Brooks from Bowling Green, 6'4", 295 pounds, and here's a weird one: Z Young Hill Green from Louisiana. He's a
Ooh,
guy who played a lot of 3 tech in college. He's a nice little athletic. He scares me in the fact that he did play at a lower division team, and he's only like a 275-pound interior defensive lineman. So
yeah. No, I like those picks. I'm gonna go with Ray. You probably not even gonna be surprised by this, but I'm going to a team that we cover a lot. Got to interview this kid, Coastal Carolinas, Jarek Clark. I think he got a lot of potential in him. Again, he's a little smaller, but he's a beast. I like him a lot. He got a really high motor. What I'm saying smaller. He's 6'4". He's 6'4", 334. What's wrong with me? Said smaller. That's a big guy, but he's a beast, man. He he got through his combo get through combo blocks really well. I just think like he could have been a lot better. I mean, obviously, Coastal Carolina. Not a lot of people watch Coastal Carolina. Inside the hatch, if you kind of keep an eye on them a little bit more than most people probably do. And he's one of those. He's probably the best player on that team.
on defense for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Grayson McCall, but yeah, him too. All right, Ray, let's get to our edge rushers. So our top 5 edge rushers. So obviously this is a little bit more sexier position right now. Again, a little bit more talent in here. Ray, let's start with your number 5. Who you got at number 5 as your edge rusher?
My number 5 is Lucas Van Ness from Iowa. A big, sturdy kid. Good physical, nice first step,
Mm-hmm.
very good leverage, uses his hands well, has been coached pretty well. I think he's a guy that you could line up at strong side defensive end,
Mm-hmm.
let him play the run for you, do a pretty good job doing that. And he has some nice pass rush capabilities and strength
Yeah,
where he could probably find his way to the quarterback.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, same guy. I got Lucas Van Ness as well. Them Iowa guys, man. Offensive, defensive Iowa guys, man. They always excite me because they usually, um, not always the greatest ones, but like they're always solid guys. So you're always gonna be able to get some good value out of those offensive, defensive line, and you can tell that that's how they kind of recruit their players.
Sure.
On that side. So I like him. I also like that he has that my favorite type of prototypical body. You know, a long, lengthy but strong. And I think he's what, like 6'8" or something. He's tall as crap.
Little over 6 foot, about 270 pounds. I'm sorry,
He's just over 6 foot.
Little over 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, there you go.
I have two different heights. I have 6'5" and 3/4. I have 6'6" and a half.
Yeah, I thought he was taller.
I don't know what the
comment. I got 6'5". I got 6'5".
Yeah, I got 6'5" too. 6'5".
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
270 pounds. So again, a big sturdy kid.
Yeah.
Coached well. Iowa players are coached well.
Yeah.
And again, a guy that you probably could play strong side defensive end. Maybe you can move him inside on third down and get some pass rush out of him.
Definitely. Yeah. The only thing that concerns me with him is that, and we talked about this last week with our mock draft, is that he wasn't really a starter. He was more of a rotational guy. They rotate their guys there. I like my college guys to be starters, to get a little bit more battle tested for the NFL. So the fact that he was a little bit in a rotation kind of worries me just a little bit, because that means he's always fresh. But, you know, some NFL teams do that. You know, you've seen the Eagles last year.
The Eagles are a team that likes to do that a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm okay with it. But, like, if he was in college, I would have liked him to, you know, be a little bit more on the field a little bit more. And, you know, I like to see when guys are battle tested and to see, like, all right, you know, when you're your weakest and when you're the tiredest, how you're gonna react, how you're gonna play, and that's always a big thing that kind of goes to me when I look at tape.
I think by the end of the season, though, you saw him; he was getting more snaps too.
Yeah, he was.
I think that's why he's moved up. He's actually moved up in the draft a lot in the last month.
He did.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, Ray. Who you got?
Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame. Again, I think that this kid is just scratching the surface on what a really exceptional pass rush he's going to be at the next level.
I agree.
He's got a lot of talent. I think that Notre Dame didn't play with enough leads this year, and that was why you saw him not put up quite the same amount of numbers he did the year before.
Yeah,
didn't have a lot of leads this year. They kind of played a decent amount of close games, and Isaiah Foskey, teams doubled on him, chipped him a little bit, kept him away from their quarterback, and again, made him play the run. They tried to run at him a little bit more this year than they had the year before. So
I don't have him in my top 5, but I will be talking about him a little bit later, and there's a reason why. I'll get to that in a second. But my number 4 guy is gonna be Miles Murphy. I really do like him. I think he's the same kind of situation as Bryce Breesy. You know, tailed off a little bit, inconsistent defense. But I really like him a lot. He's a really good pass rusher. When I seen him and Breesy be on the same team, I thought this defense was gonna go crazy. And you know, maybe my expectation was a little bit higher, and I think a lot of people's expectation was a little bit higher. But him and Breesy played really well still, and I think both of them still could go to the first round. Ray, number 3.
I had Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech. 6'6", 275, 85-pound edge rusher, very toolsy guy with exceptional length. I like him. The one thing I like him as a pass rusher. I don't love him as a run defender.
It's interesting because if you have Tyree Wilson at 3, I think I know who you're not having at your your top 5, and it might be my number 3 guy.
Okay,
and it's gonna be Nolan Smith. Now, Nolan Smith is a little bit more of a
specific edge rusher.
Yeah, exactly.
An every down player.
Yeah, exactly. So he's more of a situational guy. He's kind of a potential kind of guy. He's more of a, that athlete kind of guy that you kind of take and hopefully you can teach him some things, get him, get some weight on him, teach him some pass rush moves. I think he's that type of guy. And, I met him when he was at IG Academy. Very smart kid. I'm telling you, I was not expecting the 4.3. That was insane. It was funny because when he ran that, I was actually at IG Academy at their combine, the little high school combine thing they had. And when he ran it, my phone was blowing up, and I was just going around showing everybody like, "Dude, 4.3, 4.3." It was insane. So to see a defensive end be able to have that speed and he had power and to get around guys real fast, I would take a chance on him and see if we especially again good coaching, teach him some stuff, allow him to get a little bigger. I'm not worried about his injury. I feel like he's gonna be ready to go. So um, yeah, I like him at 3. Ray, number 2.
I got Miles Murphy from Clemson, number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Again, does need to develop secondary moves as a pass rusher, but a very good run defender and a guy who I think will get me some pass rush. So I didn't see enough of it in college. I'm not gonna lie. That's my only problem, honestly, Jerome. My top 5 guys are all guys that I think are all good football players.
Mm-hmm.
Really, Isaiah Foskey's been more productive than any of them, but he is a little bit more undersized than the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think Miles Murphy is a good football player, but I do think that he is a guy who will come out and play strong side defensive end, give me 6 to 8 sacks, and be a good run defender. Will Anderson is a different animal completely. That's why he's number 1. So just to get way ahead of myself here, just like none of these other guys have the upside of Will Anderson. None of them. So,
I'm gonna talk about him in a second. But my number 2 guy is Tyree Wilson. I really like him. From Texas Tech. He is a really good player, big guy, big guy. Excuse me. I wish he ran his 40. I would have loved to see what he ran for his 40 time. But nevertheless, that's not huge for me for defensive ends. I want to see productivity, and this guy been very productive. A little bit of a smaller school, not in the SEC or anything like that. So I think that's why people overlook him a little bit. But I think that he's definitely a guy that plays very tough, motors out there, out the wazoo. I really like him. I actually had in my mock draft, I had a couple of these other guys going before him. I think Nolan Smith, and I think I had Nolan Smith before him, but I think Tyree Wilson is the better player overall. Nolan Smith more like like I said, more of a you probably get enamored by his speed and his athletic ability more than Tyree Wilson, but Tyree Wilson is more consistent player.
I don't care how fast a guy runs in the 40.
I agree. No, I agree.
Give me short shuttle. Give me broad jump. Show me what's an explosiveness to their game.
I was going to take first.
If you're a defensive lineman and you're running 40 yards, you probably didn't do your job to begin with.
That's true.
So,
Definitely. All right. And then obviously, number 1 guy, Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. Right? Simple. Yep.
Very simple.
Yep.
I believe he's the best player in this draft.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He's the best player in the draft.
Yeah. He's been the best player the last couple of years. I know his numbers is not where he was last year, but still very productive, getting double teamed, triple teamed sometimes. Going in that Alabama defense, you already know how Nick Saban coaches those guys up. I would not be mad, and I'm starting to hear a little bit more from the fans. But if the Eagles were to trade up to get a guy like that, I would not be upset at all.
Me neither.
At all. Go ahead, give them 3 first-round picks. I don't care. Go get your guy.
Agreed.
So
here's the question for you, Jerome.
Mm-hmm.
Of the top 5, you would just name pretty close to the same guys, maybe a little bit of different order. They're pretty close to the same guys.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have Isaiah Foskey in the top 5. Who did you have in there?
Nolan Smith. So you had Isaiah Foskey. I had Nolan Smith.
I'm looking up stats right now as we speak, actually. And I know stats are not all to be all either. I got that part. I would worry way more about their stats than than how fast they run in the 40, though.
Oh, 100%, right? 100%. Yeah, Nolan
How
Smith
many
was injured last year.
how
He
many
was injured last
sacks
year.
do you think Nolan Smith had this year?
Like maybe 2 because he was injured most of the year.
He had 3.
3. Okay.
How many sacks do you think Lucas Van Ness had this year?
I think he had 9 or 10.
6.5.
Really?
Yeah. How many sacks do you think Miles Murphy had this year?
I think he had like 7 or 8.
6.5.
Okay.
How many sacks do you think Tyree Wilson had this year?
I just looked at his. I think he had like 7 or 9.
7.
Yeah.
How many stats? Who led all of them guys? Even Will Anderson.
Isaiah Fossey, he probably had. I think he had like 12, right?
11.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, stats can be misleading, but nowhere near as misleading as what people think about the 40 time.
And with that being said, I'm gonna put him in my sleeper.
I got
I'm gonna jump the gun because we're already talking about it.
Not as productive as he was the year before. Just like Will Anderson went from like 17 sacks to 10.
And that's why I thought this was
found a different way to attack them, but they
Yeah.
were still productive.
And that's why I felt like maybe I should put him in this category because, these guys are potential guys. These guys they look the part. They look like they can be the better guys. I think Will Anderson is the better guy, obviously.
I think
But
Will Anderson is
Isaiah Fossey is one of those guys that might go in mid-second round, and people are just gonna be like, "Yo, where does this guy come from?" Yeah, because y'all them, and that's why I put him in my sleeper.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, Jerome. I just think that, again, honestly, I think Isaiah Fossey is just scratched the surface, man.
100%.
I think he's going to be an exceptional pass rusher.
Yeah, I did want to honorable mention a sleeper go. Keon White from Georgia Tech.
Keon White is my sleeper, actually. I have Keon in my sleeper.
Okay.
I have Keon White and I have Andre Carter as my sleepers. Both guys that I really, really like.
All right. Well, since we already on that part, I'm going my small school guy. I got Andre Carter as a small school guy. So we're thinking the same way. You're thinking the same way. Andre Carter was a guy that I was super, super high on the last few years. And going into the Senior Bowl, I was like, dude, this guy, I'm telling you. And during the Senior Bowl, he didn't come in at the weight that I was hoping he came in. He came in a little thin. And I feel like he got pushed around a little bit. Still didn't look horrible. He didn't look horrible. You could tell he has some potential. But I think if you can bring him in second and third round, get his body right, I think that he can be a force again. He's a little too he was too skinny when he got there.
I agree.
I don't know what that was about because I did get to interview him. I was standing right next to him. I'm like, this guy don't look like he looked more like a tight end than a DN. So
he's almost 3 inches taller than Isaiah Foskey, but is the same weight.
Exactly.
255 pounds. He's 260 at top end.
Yeah.
And he's just too long and but he's athletic. He has a great motor. I think if you bring him in and put 15 to 20 pounds of muscle on him, you're going to get a really good productive player at left defensive end.
I agree.
I like him. I get White is the same thing. I think his pass rushing ability to get inside and to move inside on third downs is going to make him a very interesting prospect for somebody. Probably in the third or fourth round, both of them, really.
Yeah. I agree. All right, Ray, who you got your small school guy?
I have Nick Hampton from Appalachian State, a guy who played some edge.
I like him.
6'3", 235 pounds. Nice size combination of size and length. Nice player. And I have Vilami Feheko from San Jose State. Another kid who's 6'4", 265 pounds. Probably more like a day, like maybe 7th round, maybe undrafted free agent. But a kid who showed a lot of promise as a situational pass rusher at San Diego State. Or maybe, like, again, you may see both of them guys wind up going on someone's practice squad for a year or two until their bodies completely develop. So,
yeah. Oh, I love it, Ray. It's funny. I just seen Nick Hampton on, I think it was on the NFL Network, just literally just a few hours ago. So I really like Nick Hampton, man. Another team that I kind of another smaller school kind of team that I kind of follow, which is Appalachian State, and I get to check out a lot of their guys a lot, and he's one of those guys like Nick Hampton. I like him.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's gonna do it for us today, guys. With the edge rushers. So hold on, I got my calendar here. Next week and then the following week is we might have to jam pack next week, guy.
Maybe.
So we might have to do linebacker and DBs next week, simply because the following week we're going to be doing our 4-man mock draft. We do this every year. It's an annual tradition that we do right before the draft. And
by the way, Corey tells me he's in, so make sure you try to reach out.
Let's go. All right.
So yesterday.
And it looked like it's going to be Corey and LaMarcus.
All right, that's going to be great, man.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. So
it's always good to have a little bit of a difference of opinion, man. I mean, because we all know that, like, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, I try to keep it as real as I can. Same. I mean, I try. I mean, I'm always going to be a little biased towards Notre Dame, but I scrutinize Notre Dame players harder than anybody. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I understand I have Isaiah Foskey in my top 5, but I'm really going off of, like I do with all these guys, I'm going off of 2 or 3 years of good game film. The only time I hate it when you get a guy who has one good year of game film and people want to forget about the other 2 years they played and they did nothing. Yeah. That's the only time it bothers me.
Yeah,
I see a guy get better each year, then I know he's developing. I could do something with him. If you hit that wall, if you're coming out of college, you're almost a done product. I don't have use for you in the NFL.
Yeah,
because you're not going to make it anyway. You may have a year or two until they figure you out. I think that's why I don't worry about a Will Anderson or an Isaiah Foskey's numbers being down a little bit, because what happened was offensive found a different way to attack them, but they were still productive.
Definitely. No, I agree with that. I think that, and it all depends on, the situation too. Like, sometimes teams start getting creative. So like the defensive coordinator, are they being more creative with you now? Are they making you do different things? Maybe it's the player.
It's really not that hard to figure out, man. You have a guy like Will Anderson is 6'4", 235, 240 pounds. So he's not small, but he's a little light. Isaiah Foskey is 6'5", 260. So the first thing you're going to do is try to run at them, get a body on them, move them around.
Yeah.
Obviously, first thing. And then it's going to be when you are passing, double team, triple team, chip them with somebody. So that's normal stuff that everybody's got to put up with. Again, but it's not like these guys went from double-digit sacks to 3 sacks or 4 sacks. They still were double-digit sacks guys. Exactly. So even though these were trying to scheme to stop them from being productive, they still were. So
exactly. No, I agree. So that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Ray rants. What you got?
I don't have a big rant today. I have a little bit of a thing. You know how I feel about the Ravens. I respect the Baltimore Ravens team. Their fans are a little bit on front runners, but it is what it is. I just think it's funny that Lamar Jackson is going to get supposedly a number 1 wide receiver. What's the excuse going to be with everybody after this doesn't succeed?
It's so funny because I like that you brought this up, right? Because even the Ravens players are noticing how the Raven fans are being right now. Like, Marlon Humphrey went on Twitter and he was like, "Oh, just yesterday y'all hated our GM, and now all of a sudden he's a genius."
Well, the genius, the GM is still a moron. He paid a guy $15 million guaranteed who hasn't played in a year and a half in football.
Dude, yeah, that country was crazy. I'm like,
That's
ooh.
ridiculous, dude. I'd have been like, yo, Odell, I'm giving you $9 million this year to play and come and prove something to me.
There was only one reason he did that, though.
Yeah, to appease everybody. I understand why he did it.
He wanted to get Lamar back in the building. That's what it was.
Lamar back in the building. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I can't wait. Hey, you know what's funny? You know what bothers me about it, Jerome? It'll be the same way with certain people that I used to do the draft stuff with. And then as soon as I'm right, they'll just forget all about it. When these guys come back and they got to say, you know what? Ray was right about Lamar. He's not really that good. They won't, though. They'll just scurry away.
No, it's like who you talking about? I'm not going to say that.
Scurry away.
I hear you, Ray. I hear you.
I just think it's funny, man. But like I told you, Jerome, I have a couple wagers, not bets, wagers, and it's not for money. If I win, they get to buy me cases of beer, and if they win, I get to buy them a nice bottle of wine, both of them.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Now I won't have to worry about spending any money, so I'm good.
That's a gentleman's bet. A gentleman's bet.
Here's the thing: I was going to let them I know Lamar Jackson's 1-4 in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's 1-4. He's the greatest quarterback in the league, but he's 1-4 in the playoffs. Okay, dude, 1-4. And
that reminds me of somebody.
That's not a one. Yeah, that's not a one loss. That's a one win and 4 losses.
Remind me of somebody.
Yeah, so like
I wonder who I'm thinking about right now. But
I don't know who you're thinking about, but that's okay. I don't know either, but 1-4 is not a good playoff record, dude. And now they got a receiver who hasn't done anything in a year and a half. So now they're going to the Super Bowl. I can't wait.
I think it rhymes with whack. His name rhymes with whack. I think it's not coming to me, but I think it'll come. I think it'll eventually come to me one day. But I think I know it rhymes with whack. I know it rhymes with whack. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this guy. I'm such an Eagles fan. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Go on YouTube, like and subscribe. It totally supports us. If you haven't seen our mock draft last week, definitely go back on there. Let us know how we did. Did we get the guy that you wanted for your team? Let us know in the comment section over there if you have not got to see it. And if you can't watch this live, it's okay. You can come on this one too. Put your comments in here like Chris did earlier. Appreciate you, Chris, and everybody else that was watching. Please make sure you check us out next week when we talk about the defensive linebackers and the defensive backs. And then the following week, which is draft week, we'll have our final mock draft, 4-man mock draft. So make sure you tune in and stay locked with Inside the Hatches because we got the goods. Thank you guys so much. I'm Jerome Jones. That's Ray Roberts. Right there. So much. Have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Yeah.